The art of animation is often larger than life. If you think about it, the illustrations that we're creating in animation are often very simple and should be very simple. The complex movements get distilled down into very simple drawings. In order to communicate a very big emotion, we have to exaggerate that emotion to make sure that it's read across the entire theater, that the person in the front row is having the exact same experience as the person in the back row, as they say in traditional theater. By making things larger than life, we're ensuring that the message or the feeling or emotion or the movement that we're trying to communicate to our audience is actually landing correctly, and our audience is able to consume and understand the complexities and the small little nuances that we're trying to create. Donald Duck is a great example of exaggeration. His entire character is exaggerated. His voice, his movements, his clothing, his personality itself is much bigger than it would actually ever be. His exaggerated being commands the attention of our audience, and it instantly communicates all the nuanced details of his character personality and his traits just instantly to our audience. They do such a great job at ensuring that the audience knows that this is a grumpy duck. But he's a lovable grumpy duck, and we love him every moment of it, for every moment of it. But he's bigger than life, and our animations should strive to be bigger than life. Things that are subtle and small in the animated form tend to be misinterpreted. A small little glance could be misinterpreted. To ensure our audience is reading the movements and the emotions correctly, we need to make sure that they're big and noticeable and understood so that the audience is comprehending them correctly. We often call this a caricature, and a caricature is an exaggerated movement, something that is so wild and big and disassociated with its traditional normal form that we understand its intent beyond anything else. The picture is such a great example. Look how big. He breaks his back right there. This is an exaggerated form. We intentionally break all the bones in the character's body to ensure our audience understands the power and the flexibility and the speed that this character is using to throw this ball. I also love how his exaggerated movement as the body goes all the way around, but his head stays perfectly still, does a great job of showcasing the steely resolve of the pitcher to ensure that his pitch was caught by the catcher and he struck out the batter. We know that from the exaggerated movement of that head going around. We're not trying to recreate reality in animation. We're trying to create an exaggerated caricature of reality. This brings those character traits all the way to the surface. We're not trying to bury the character and bury the emotion through many layers of the design. We're trying to bring it to the surface in a way that instantly communicates to the audience what it is that we're trying to see. It also grabs the attention of our audience. It ensures that our animations are being seen and understood in a fun, creative, silly, at times way. It's a wonderful, wonderful way of ensuring that our audience is seeing what we need them to see. By making things larger than life, it's almost impossible for our audience to miss them. It also does a really great job of communicating the movements. Since we're providing them with a whole series of movements that are really kind of wacky and unknown and out there, our audience is going to be looking at them much more critically, which is by design. If they're identical to what they're seeing out there in the real world, there's a very high likelihood that our audience is going to gloss over, disconnect, and take those movements for granted. We want our audience to be listening and seeing and understanding the movements from the moment they begin. If we lose our audience throughout the process, well, then it's going to be much more difficult to get them back in understanding of what it is that we're seeing. We always should be looking to break reality in the art of animation. This is not traditional film. We're not trying to recreate reality. We're not trying to create a world that could be photographed, if you will. Okay, we're trying to create a new reality that really showcases an emotion. This bubble is such a wonderful illustration. It is wobbly and much more than it actually would. We are exaggerating the wobbliness of this movement to ensure the audience understands the material characteristics of this object and its movement qualities. We're breaking reality. Bubbles don't actually do this out there in the real world, but we make them bigger than they need to be in the animated form to make sure our audience is understanding of it. As animators, we always need to be thinking about what our audience is seeing and understanding. They're kind of our friend and partner in this entire ride, and exaggeration is a wonderful tool to ensure that our friend and partner is having the best time possible.